So we got the call. I got to go back. I got another round of chemo. This is round 4 out of what he said should be 7 rounds of chemo. So apparently, my very first round, I was really sick. They didn't give me, I have 2 drugs that I'm taking for the chemo. One of them, they didn't give me my full dose. So apparently, I can do up to about 7 rounds of chemo before they're starting to worry about my heart and whether my heart can take it. And then they'll switch the regimen of what I'm doing and go to another type of chemo, which we didn't really discuss on the phone call yesterday. But it's kind of getting to the point to where I don't like going to the hospital for my chemo. I used to not mind it. It used to be one of those things that I look at as kind of like taking a break and resetting my mindset and kind of getting focused. But now, as life seems so normal for the 2 to 3 weeks that I'm home, it's almost that constant reminder of like, man, I really am fighting this stuff, and I really do have cancer. And it's kind of that ugly reminder when I go back to the hospital and do my chemo. As life is just starting to feel normal, as I'm starting to program and go out and about and hang out with my family and do stuff, life doesn't seem to feel different. And I think this is that ugly reminder of like, man, I still have to fight this battle. And I got to face it head on. And I still got to, deal with this. So wish me luck as I go back in. I start to get anxiety and I start to just not like going to the hospital again. And then it puts me in this really sour mood that I shouldn't be in, I got to still count my blessings every single day. I'm alive still. And even though I'm fighting this, I get a chance to still stretch this out and I got to just have a better attitude with my nurses and with the doctors and with everybody else while I'm in the hospital. So pray for me for that. I got to get my clothes ready. My son has a football game tonight. I was really looking forward to that, but apparently a bet will be open. So we're trying to work that out, trying to go to the game and then maybe get to the hospital afterwards. Apparently we got to be to the bed by midnight. That's a really long night for my wife, but I also don't want to miss the football game and being there to support my kids. So got a couple decisions to still make this afternoon. But I'm going to start packing up my clothes, start getting ready, and wait for that final phone call that like, hey, your bed's available. And then start heading on down there. So you guys will be hanging out with me at the hospital for the week. I want to try to make things fun, switch things up again, and bring you guys along. So next time you see me, I'll probably be in the hospital bed complaining about something, whether it's Uber or God knows what. So again, wish me luck. Send a few prayers for me as I kind of go through this week and fight this stuff. So anyways, I'll see you guys soon. Laters. Good morning from me and Teddy. It is officially discharge day. We get to go home. I had to stay an extra night because of that procedure that I got done, but man, it's going to make a world of a difference. I don't got to carry this bag around. It's those small little victories these days that just go a long way. And get my life back on track, man. It's round 4 of chemo. I probably have 3 more rounds to go after this, but it's really starting to hit me, man. I'm really starting to get homesick. I really miss the boys, so I can't wait to get back home to them, be able to get back to some normalcy. We do have a football game tomorrow night. We're playing crosstown rivals Great Oak, so I'll be taking you guys to that, and hopefully I'll have that surprise that you guys bought me, because every single one of your donations afforded us the ability to go and get something I've been waiting months for, even since I got my leg amputated. So I'm super excited to share that with you guys. Hopefully we pick that up today or tomorrow, and you guys can see what I've been talking about. But can't wait to share that with you guys and a few other things that we're going to do this week. I don't know. Get out, go to a skate park, do something, get some fresh air, and bring you guys along with me. But I'm going to start packing everything up. I got my Lulu blanket. I got Teddy. I got a few other things to kind of sort out before we're out of here. But we're officially going home. Round 4 of chemo, done. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you so much for your encouraging words. It's just been kind of up and down lately, and I just haven't really been feeling myself, and being able to go back in and read your comments
and all that kind of stuff is just so uplifting during these times. So thank you guys so much for your time and effort that you put into sharing our journey and just being there for me and my family. It really means a lot. But I'm going to pack up. Me and Teddy are going to get ready, and we'll see you guys soon. Boop. Yo, 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 what up, guys? Gonna take this vlog and kind of take it a different direction. There's been a few things I just wanted to just talk to you guys about and give you a different perspective on that. Instead of just going through the vlog and talking more about medical conditions and all those updates, I figured I just shoot it to you guys straight based on just my mindset and where I've been. You know, I get a lot of comments every single week. Garrett, you're so positive, and the smile and everything. And as much as all that's true and none of it's fake, you guys are still just seeing just a glimpse of what my entire day is and what I actually go through, you know, and I wanted to show you some of the other perspective of what creeps in, you know, in these kind of circumstances and situations, and how I try to overcome it, and small little goals that I give myself that might help me over some of these hurdles that maybe will help you guys in the future. But these last couple of weeks have been really hard, man. Like, it's not easy. You know, the further I go into chemo, the more I feel side effects, and the more that this stuff really just hits home. These last couple of weeks have been really, really hard. The further I go into treatment, the more I start to feel some side effects in my stomach area, and the more just things really resonate and just become real, you know? It's really easy to go about your life and everything feels normal, and you go to the football events and you go to these sporting events and you're with your family, and everything feels normal. And then it's kind of when you go back to the hospital and you do a chemo treatment that things kind of snap back to reality of like, dude, I really am still dealing with this, and there's still so much unknown, you know. And when you go to bed at night, I think that's when a lot of this creeps in, and you know, the seeds are planted, and the doubt, and you know, being scared, and the fear, and all these other emotions start to try to take over, when throughout the day you're just trying to, you know, be so strong, you know. And that's what I want to show you guys. Like I've really sat back, taking a little bit of time away from just everything, a lot of time with the family, not a lot of time doing content, not a lot of time worried about, you know, social media or anything like that, and really just digging inward, to really find out more about myself these past couple weeks. There's been a lot that I felt like I was doing, but I'm not doing. I'm almost going through the motion of doing it. I'm putting the words to it, but I'm not necessarily putting the actions of like really pushing forward through that. And that's a problem for me. You know, for my own motivation and for my own sanity, I guess. You know, it's really easy to sit there and try to say like, oh, I'm not worried about this, or I've got this, or let's go, I'm going to beat this. But when you really start to sit there and just think about having cancer in general, and, you know, not even the complications that come from it, and then that spirals into another thought, and into another thought, and into another thought, and then you just get lost. And it really starts to take over like your feeling, and your you know, your happiness, and just like it really brings this fear and this anxiety that is really hard to shake, you know. So a lot of what I've always preached and said and done, and it works well for me, is really just not even thinking about it, and just moving forward, and just living every single day as though you don't even have cancer, and not even really saying the word too much, or giving it face, or any of that, you know. And it seems to work, and it's fine. But it's when you're sitting there brushing your teeth and you look in the mirror and you actually see how you look, or you look at a picture of yourself, or you come across a mirror and you realize, like, you know, look at what this has done in such a short period of time, you know. And I'd lie if I'm saying it wasn't scary. I'd be lying if I would say that it's just like I've got all this strength and all this courage. Like, of course it's scary. But the thing that I think has been the hardest is because of being scared, it's taking me away from who I am. It's not allowing me to go out and be who I've been my whole entire life, which is just unapologetically Garrett, and just living my life and being me. And I've been avoiding this because I've been scared of what's going to happen in the future, and that's been holding me back. I mean, I was really excited this week about getting this surprise and sharing it with you guys and sharing the content and how happy it was going to make me and all this different stuff, right? Like I had this big buildup, and in my own head, it felt like something was going to be fixed because of that, right? And unfortunately, this week the surprise isn't showing up. There's been complications. It's going to come in a bit. We don't really know. It's out of stock, but it's in stock, and so the story was a little complicated. But regardless, the item didn't show up this week, and I was really bummed out about that. And it kind of started this weird spiral effect of like feeling sorry for myself and having these expectations of everything's supposed to work out perfectly in this order, but it doesn't, and there's that reminder of like, I'm not always in control of the final outcome. I'm not always in control of what's ultimately going to happen, but I can control the process. I can control the steps. And that's what I've done a really good job of, but I'm not doing the steps that are making Garrett Garrett. Every single time I drive home from one of these doctor appointments, I drive by a golf course, and golfing was everything to me. I'd golf multiple times a week for years. I mean, it was just my number one way of getting outside, getting outdoors, and just catching a break. Just I love golf. And right when I got my leg amputated initially, my number one goal was to go back and get a medal playing golf in a tournament somehow with my prosthetic, and that was my goal. And then cancer showed up, and it almost like it just stopped this motivation. It stopped this like, okay, now I can't use my leg because it hurts my tumor and I'm never going to figure it out, and whatever, I'll just sit in a wheelchair. But this wheelchair life sucks, dude. Like, from finding a parking spot to making sure that you have all accommodations everywhere you go, like, it's just an inconvenience to everybody. And I've only just been wasting months myself not trying to use my leg and have this hybrid life of, okay, you can use a wheelchair in these circumstances and you can use a leg in these circumstances. I just gave up altogether because I have cancer and I'm terminal and I'm probably going to die. So let me focus on that. And that's just a weak mindset to have, when I have the option to try. Now, there's going to be complications. I've had a lot of atrophy since starting chemo in my leg. It's not going to be easy to learn how to walk again. I do have a tumor right on my spine that is creating nerve damage even more to the leg than I had before. So I don't even know if it's possible, but gosh dang it, next week we set up an appointment to see the doctor, and I'm going to start trying my prosthetic leg again, and you guys are going to be part of that journey. And I'm going to try to play golf. If I got 6 months left to live, I got to sit there and learn how to walk in 4 and play golf. So getting back on the golf course, doing these things, like I started looking at like, why is cancer stopping me from pursuing that? Right now, even as I'm like getting back into work and doing all that stuff, like why was I so afraid to be honest about my situation, to show how I look, like I guess there's a lot of things that I'm insecure about since starting chemo as far as my appearance and stuff like that. But like, why am I going to let that hold me back from going and getting the appropriate job, being able to sit there and do what I need to do to, provide for my family. Because right now I'm kicking, I'm moving, the days suck, I'm exhausted. Yeah, but can I go and do masonry work or pour concrete and do labor? No, but I can work. And while I'm doing chemo, I need to find a company that's going to work with me to give me that time off and then recover and do all that. But like, why am I afraid to go out there? Because I have cancer. So I've really been kind of looking at myself and being judging myself, for lack of a better word, of like, what am I doing with my time while I'm still here? And how am I best using that time to be able to be productive and be able to be the provider, be able to still take care of what I need to take care of physically, but still go out there and not allow myself not to live life just because I'm scared. And and that's just a really big thing that I've been bothered by, I guess. One of the big things that I've been trying to focus on since this whole thing started was my mindset. But one thing I realized I didn't allow myself to have to complete this mindset was really processing everything that's happened. I mean, I literally got my leg amputated and went right into having cancer. So I haven't even been able to really fully process my life and the world as it's changed with my leg and my amputation, and kind of how to deal with the insecurities that come with that, going in public, the way that my life's changed and coping with that, and how that bothers me and the limitations that I have there, and really trying to get past those while also processing the fact that I have terminal cancer. And I think that's been something that I haven't really slowed down, allowed myself to be real with myself and say, hey, this is really what I'm facing. And how do I best go about tackling that emotionally, physically, mentally, and putting together a plan that allows me to just again be the best version of who I can be, because that's what this whole entire thing has come down to, right? And like, at the end of the day, what is life besides being the best version of yourself for your family and for yourself, to go out there and just experience life? I mean, what the hell else is all this for? So when it comes down to putting out goals or putting out ways to overcome these depression, like spurts of depression, or these little times of just not feeling motivated, or times of being in a rut, or sitting there feeling like you're stuck or you hit a brick wall, you have to sit there and wake up and have something to work towards. And sometimes just having a family or having a wife isn't enough as a man. You need something more. You need something outlined. You need something clear, cut, and concise to be able to sit there and hold yourself accountable and say, this is what I'm not doing. This is what I'm not accomplishing. So as I'm going through this and I'm kind of hitting this plateau, that's that reminder that keeps coming back of like, what can I set forward right now where I can put a stake in the ground and say, Garrett, you can work on this. And that's going to be your catalyst to be able to sit there and start moving in the direction that you need to move towards, because it's time to get out of this rut. It's time to wake up and smell the roses and get out and just produce and be the Garrett that you've always been unapologetically. Get out there and do your thing. Yeah, you don't have hair, you're losing your eyebrows, your eyelashes, everything, right? Your whole entire appearance is changing, you're losing weight, you're feeling insecure, but that shouldn't hold you back from going out and seeing cars and going to events and just being Garrett and doing the things that make you happy, and really, really pushing forward and still pursuing the dreams that you've always had in your life. Like, why do my dreams stop now just because somebody tells me that I'm going to die? We're all going to die. that shouldn't stop my dreams. So I have to sit here and get past that. And on the short term, to get over this bridge and this hurdle, like I've already discussed, my very first goal is going to be getting back in a leg and walking, because that's going to give me freedom. That's going to give me something that I don't have to worry about having a handicap spot or a seat or anything like that. It's getting to a point to where I can push past this plateau of insecurity to be able to sit there and create more freedom for myself and my loved ones around me and enjoy more life. Like, I need to golf. I need to go out there and smell fresh cut grass at 6 in the morning when I smack a 300 yarder, like that's what I need. And, and getting into a leg is part of that. So I got to do that. And that's step one. Step two is something that I've done personally on my own, is I want to read the Bible at least 3 times a week, because that's what's getting me closer to God. So reading the Bible at least 3 times a week. And I want to start working out. I have a small little machine in my house. I can't do heavy lifting, obviously, or do the type of lifting that I'm always used to. But building muscle helps build the immune system, which helps fight against what I'm going through. So being able to try to put on more muscle and sustain weight is a really big goal of mine right now, as I'm going through this transition with chemo and my body weight. It's taking away a lot of muscle from me. So working out's very important. And I feel like that would be a great release and something that can just help me pattern my day and break things up. So those are the 3 easy things that I'm going to start with, that are just super short-term goals for myself to pull me out of this rut of just, being stuck, feeling sorry for myself, feeling like my life's so much different than somebody else just because I don't have a leg and I'm fighting cancer. Like, yes, my life is a different version of what it's been, but it doesn't have to be so different that I lose who I am in the process of it all, and that's really the biggest thing that I just wanted to tie this all into and share with you guys and let you guys know that I love every one of you guys. All the support, all the words of encouragement have really, really uplifted me. As you can see, it's not always just smiles and confidence and I've got this figured out. Hearing your guys' perspective, your words of encouragement, knowing that you guys are praying for me and my family, really just make the world of a difference for me. It really uplifts my spirit, and it really motivates me to just look inward and see what I can do to better my situation and continue to sit here and be an example and be an inspiration. So thank you guys so much for following along with everything. Next week, you guys will start to see the journey of me getting back into a leg. I'll be sharing the word and kind of what I'm reading. And maybe you'll see a workout or two. They're pretty boring, but just progress. And I'm going to try to find some other creative things to start bringing into the vlog, as you guys are just hanging out with me and going through my journey. But I just really thank you guys for being there every step of the way so far. It's been really, really hard. And a lot of times your words and everything that you guys have said have been a really bright point to a dark day. So I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I love you guys. Take care.